Hello everyone! Hello, Cesare here with some more Outer Worlds. We are now in Stellar Bay on Monarch. We are currently progressing the main story, I think. That's the plan. We finished off the first DLC yesterday. We got a ton of levels from it, so we're kicking ass. Yeah. Go back to this gun. I like this gun. I gotta install some mods in this gun, actually. Anyway, yeah, so we arrived at Stellar Bay. I don't quite know what's gonna go on here. I was thinking these were stairs. Good thing I didn't walk forward. We're a bit late today, though. I apologize for that, but my alarm didn't go off.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in.
Let's talk to Graham.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
No. Whatever, I'm not here for chit-chat. You seem surprised. Well, that is my ship on the landing pad next to you.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction.
Thank you.
You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
These more than a few gunships scare me. What are they doing out there?
You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-world traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Captain Miro. Me, I'm Alex Hawthorne. I prefer to travel discreetly, if you know what I mean. I don't have time for this.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code.
Sick.
I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
What are you doing? Shut up, too silly. Is Stellar Bay really that isolated? You're not what I expected to find out about Monarch.
Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Is Stellar Bay really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are Sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
Are you saying the boys have been lying about this place?
Oh, sure. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
Okay.
Mr. Sandra will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you?
I know your name.
Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
That depends. What is it?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next Sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself.
We met him.
Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
Sure, I can ask what you're supposed to.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
I have a question for you, though. Why can't you ask her? That's stuff I can steal. This person doesn't even get a name. They're just resident.
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
We're here, light years from
Yeah.
Earth, going about our lives.
Every time the punch clock peals, a worker earns his meals.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I thought you were quoting It's a Wonderful Directorate.
Wow, that was wonderful voice acting. Nyoka?
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you?
I'm Mira. Pleasure to meet you.
Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you?
Sure, another button. I'll stay and chat. You look like you've had enough. I told you can get me to an information broker.
Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger?
I told you you can help me find an information broker. Vacation. Seeing what it's like for people like for myself. People like to talk it up like it's a shithole.
Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head.
Sure, what do you need?
Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set.
She's cut off. And if I can't get a steroid or caffeine something or other, you mean caffeinoid? That stuff's just a stimulant.
Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
Alright, I'll be back. Sure, if she wants to fuck herself up with caffeinoids, I'm not gonna stop her. Her damn body. Several phrases have been marked off. Nyoka Bartok bingo sheet. Right between the eyes. There were 3, no 4 of them. That raft was this big. Took it down with one shot, and buy me a drink. Apparently this is a common thing for her. I don't think I want bathroom purpleberry punch. Doesn't seem like the most hygienic drink. Hey, you can have a balcony drink if you want. There's still this mag pick. Will these people get mad at me?
What do you think you're doing?
Yeah, he got mad at me. I was just leaving. I'm gonna lie.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah. You didn't seem to care. We're getting Sentry Sabers Mark II, so we're not too high for this level. Well, we probably are, but we're only getting Mark IIIs in the DLC, so not too much higher than what we got now. Alright, so we gotta get caffeinoid for that person. This is quite the town, though. Look how big this is.
Could I get another advance, Mr.
Oh, this-
Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
What was our exchange rate? You have money trouble? Grim just asked me to check you about his tossball poster.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grim wore her patience thin a long time ago.
Okay. Earlier, I overheard you say that you were having money trouble.
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
Isn't he like... You normally blow your money on Raptidon parts?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's Canid tea, or Mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
Why are you buying so much from Sebastian? You got that many bits to spend. I've got some trash to sell you.
So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
A squish.
Sort of a strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
That's not a date.
I couldn't. What if he says no? Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as embarrassing if you ask.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Wait, I'm curious. What do you see in Sebastian?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises.
Good to have standards, I guess.
I know what I'm looking for.
You really want to be with someone you can't talk to? There are other fish in the sea, Sylvia. That's all I need to know. You know what?
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
Talk to you later. Alright, this guy here, she's like talking like about him, and he's like just standing here.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
Why would you say
I've
that?
often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
Very generous. No, you have a meeting with me.
You'd be a hit in Byzantium.
Did you hear that power play, Celia? They don't make them like this anymore in Halcyon. I only hope you don't judge me by my handshake.
It depends. Were you
what
moistening
business
your
brings you
loins
here?
beforehand? I'm just looking for an information broker.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
Hey, it could always be both. If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as food in this sprat-fucked colony, I'm gonna stab someone.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments.
Excuse me?
I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
What exactly are you hoping to accomplish? If you're free of the other corporations, why would you want them back?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
And you're tired of scrounging and scraping by, is that it? Doesn't get free of anyone else in Helsing. Why not embrace it?
Exactly what I would have said, if I'd been paying attention.
Thanks, Ellie.
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
What do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
This lady knows what's going on.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Fine, but how do you mean to do that? How long did it take you to figure it that you needed to defend your city?
Not long, but the devil is always in the details. And the salient detail here is a Bolt 52 cartridge. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
How did I get tied
You'll
into
have
this?
a powerful ally on the board.
What do I find?
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. These days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
I don't care about that. Why are you saying it that way?
Saying what? Which way?
Arms. You're saying arms instead of arms.
That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand for something, but I forget what.
I'm sure I'll know when I find it.
Good enough. I know when to settle. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
No, I'm not doing that. Sure, bye. Okay. How did I get roped into that? Like, that conversation just took a turn for the... What the fuck? He's like, oh yeah, this is our plan to get this place up and going. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're gonna need you to do this. What? Why? A lot of people here. Oh, there's the workers. I would say that man is a masterful negotiator to get me to just do these things, but at the same time, he didn't really do anything. The game kind of just shifted the conversation to that.
Nice going.
This terminal is only for officially on behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries. Personal mash random keys. Incorrect. To be hacked. The fish in tank 23A are looking a little lumpy, so if you're not going to make it in, that's fine. But you have to let me know so I can stay on top of the doses. Mr. Nandi, we really need to talk about the Sultana situation. We've had to let 4 batches rot in the warehouse over the last 2 months because we're not finding buyers. I know the situation with the board puts us in a tough spot, but we need to start thinking about how we're going to keep Stellar Bay afloat if we can't get sales up. Brax, seriously, where are you? You've missed 3 shifts. This is getting ridiculous, even for you. If she has the signed tossball poster, the fuck is she hanging on to it for? Does she like being bothered by that dude? I don't even think she actually likes being bothered by him. That's Sultana. Yeah, hi, Minicat. Aha. There's water here. Guys, Mira's being Minnie again. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is super windy outside, but my neighbor upstairs is once again playing that same song that he plays like every day. Oh, hey. A crumpled note found on the corpse of a Stellar Bay. Most of the text is obscured by blood, but you can make out the words Lilia and passcode Antediluvian. Oh. Well, retrieve the missing passcode. There we go. We did it, team. Okay, we'll come back to this, I think.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
Okay. Catherine said that she'd shove you in a box if you keep running your yap like.
Did she now? Well, I can see I was mistaken. Because if Catherine really had sent you, there'd be a lot more expletives in your message. I hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
Your chief. What? What's this about your foreman?
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
You'll go back eventually. You don't have to constrain a person's freedom. Don't you have rules about that sort of thing? You say so. So find him and drag him back out by the ears.
Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments.
Oh, okay.
Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra jugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind?
What's this about your foreman?
Caleb Herrick. Runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials.
So the job's easy, but you're not doing it? Something smells here. I mean, everything smells in here, but something's fishy. Wait.
He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I pay them more.
I can talk to Caleb for you. Why don't you just pay them more? Surely you can make them come back. So, I want to ask them why they don't just pay them more, but it's because they're probably running out of money.
Not on Monarch. Sanjar threw out the old work mandates and penalties.
That's good, right?
Sure. Until your workers start making ridiculous demands.
Okay, why don't you just pay them more?
Because we've got a budget, all right? And in case you haven't noticed, MSI doesn't exactly have a lot of spare bits on hand.
Talk to Caleb for you.
You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it? I'm joking. Mostly. Unless you can do it without hurting his job performance. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there.
Alright, let's talk about it. You said Braxton has been stealing drugs?
Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it skimming. And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts.
Well, nice of you to not say anything. Why didn't you turn him in?
We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get the Saltuna, fat and mostly tumor-free.
Okay.
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a Ground 6 spacer.
Okay. For Caleb?
Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say.
Alright. They're hard workers, aren't they? They deserve some compensation for that.
Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the actual work.
Rude.
I'll wager she don't pay those folks that maintain the mechanicals decent neither.
Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much.
Why can't you give them?
I don't have the bits for it, plain and simple. Besides, if I make an exception for him, I gotta do the same for everyone. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate.
If you hire Sublight, you'll just give them more control over your business. Avengers gonna notice shortfalls before long. You'll hold you responsible.
You know, I hadn't thought of it that way. Last thing I need is Catherine mailing even farther up my ass than she already is. Fine. Tell Caleb he and his team can have their raise, but I need them back here immediately.
Oh. I didn't even have to go talk to him to convince him to come back, apparently, according to the quest. That's hilarious. Alright. Well, we could turn that quest on, but there's really no point since I can just go over here and talk to him. Caleb? No, that's Ben. You, Caleb? No, you're a resident. You, Caleb? No. Caleb? Caleb? Caleb?
New face, huh?
He's the one that yelled at me
You
earlier.
from Off-World?
Yep, Captain Miro, the Unreliable. Captain Hawthorne of the Unreliable.
A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us?
By the smell, he's been reveling enough for you both already.
We need to talk about Velma.
Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
I convinced Velma to see reason. She'll increase your pay.
How'd you manage that? Wait, never mind. If I question it, it'll turn out not to be true. Besides, I never follow how you got Velma to part ways with a bit card of her own accord. Here, take this as compensation. It ain't a lot, but I hope it shows how much we appreciate all you've done. Now me and my friends here better get back to work before Velma blows a fuse.
Okay, so it's not quite the same amount of EXP we were getting on the Halcyon Helen quest line, but we're still getting a fairly decent amount of EXP at this point in the game, so not bad.
Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in.
Give him the poster. Here, have your
Would
poster.
you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. Holcomb's signature. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was going to spend at the bar this week. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker too. Never get the chance to use it these days.
Not sure I care about that, but that gave me 20,000 EXP. Like, there's no reason to just not do these quests. Alright, well, this guy gave me his tossball blocker. I'm gonna immediately break that down for parts. Mini cat. Guys, Mir's being mini again. How do I prevent this? Okay, passion pills. Let's start with this one.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember.
Hi, Gladys. I mean...
Quite the bedside manner, lady.
Well, it's so rare I get the pleasure of new company. What can Auntie Abigail do for you?
I've been asked to pick up a caffeine supplement.
And what a helpful young lady you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits.
Whiskey helps, too.
Please leave medical advice to the professionals. Now, dearie, who's
She's a doctor. The pills are actually for me. I don't know, Auntie. You'll have to pry that secret from my sweet cheeks.
I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade we get, I'm afraid I have to reserve my supply for Stellar Bay residents. Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it a shame what some people will do to get a little extra?
Well, that's awful. You can't trust people these days. You don't get five-finger discounts?
Isn't it just? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail?
Hmm.
Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry.
There must be some way I can increase Nyoka's allotment. When can Nyoka get her next dose?
I'm afraid it'll be the better part of a month. Our dear Nyoka tends to exhaust her supply rather quickly. Believe me, there's nothing I'd love better than to help you. But there's not much I can do. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them.
I thought you were in charge around here, Auntie. You sure ought to be.
Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his.
Remind me, what supply room?
The one upstairs, where we store our medicines.
Where can I find this, Dr.
In
Williams?
the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the Flower of Enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations.
Oh. Where's the graveyard?
The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay our respects, but the bodies tend to attract beasties.
Beasties?
Be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you, dearie.
Alright, well, we gotta go out there anyway, because I want to see it. We could go steal it, but I feel like it'd be better to just go explore a bit. It is, however, break time. Don't go anywhere, guys. We got more Outer Worlds. Sorry, my brain just fucking died in the middle of that. Anyway, I'll be right back. We got more in just a moment.